just tore it up. This Ford is up. The cup is full.
Did you know on this day in 1965, we lost someone that was super impactful to the Black community? Malcolm X. February 20th, 1965, the civil rights activist and Muslim minister known as Malcolm X, he was shot dead in a ballroom in New York City. I'm gonna give you a little background on Malcolm X, and you will see where I'm coming. He was born Malcolm Little, so he wasn't always Malcolm X. He was born Malcolm Little in Omaha, Nebraska, but they had to move because the KKK forced him and his family to move to Michigan. His father was also murdered by a white supremacist named Black Legion. And the crazy thing about this is Michigan authorities refused to prosecute anybody that was responsible for anything. Malcolm X spent 6 years in prison. During those 6 years, he encountered the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. For those that don't know who he was the leader of the Nation of Islam. All of his members are widely known as the Black Muslims. But one thing about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr., they both were civil rights leaders, but Malcolm X advocated for self-defense and the liberation of African Americans. Some of you might know this phrase, by any means necessary. That's the way that Malcolm rode. And the reason I gave you the little background before we started is because by any means necessary means a lot because of what he endured when he was younger, being forced out by the KKK. His father got murdered by a white supremacist. And then they took Malcolm X from his family, and over those years, he was just getting bounced around. So in the early 1960s, he began to develop a more outspoken philosophy than that of Elijah Muhammad, which Elijah Muhammad believed that Malcolm X, he was starting to become too powerful. And because of that, he suspended him from the Nation of Islam. What a lot of people don't know about Malcolm X is that after he was suspended, like a few months later, he formally left the organization and made a Muslim pilgrimage out in Mecca. But when he returned to the States, as a new man. And being a new man, he had a new name. El Hajj Malik El Shabazz. Those that don't know, this was the name that he took after coming back to the States. But like I said, on this day in 1965, he was shot 21 times by 3 members of the Nation of Islam because Malcolm saw a different light. He saw a different way, and they didn't like that. His pregnant wife was in there on the first row. His 4 daughters were on the first row, and they all took cover. So, a lot of people look at Malcolm X differently, and I believe that a lot of us have Malcolm X in us and Martin Luther King Jr. in us. But the thing is, Malcolm X was more than what you see in these movies. So I suggest when you get some time, some free time, it doesn't have to be, hours and hours. But if you do not know Malcolm X, I would take some time and research a little bit about him. You will be surprised of the information that you would see. So someone came up to me the other day and they asked me, how do you come up with topics to present on a podcast? Especially since you have multiple days throughout the week, it's probably hard to, come up with topics. And I'm like, I have a notepad with tons of topics. And every show, every episode, I say, hey, this could be a good topic, a good topic to talk about. But for some reason, looking in that notepad, like nothing jumped out to me. But until I read this article the other day. And do you remember? Okay, let's rewind. I want everyone that's watching this, try to think back before I give you the information of who this person could be. Do you remember a lady named Rachel Dolezal? You don't know? I'll tell you. So, Miss Rachel Dolezal, she's the former NAACP chapter president that presented herself as a black woman, knowing damn well she was white. But there's a twist to this, because we're not talking about Miss Rachel Dolezal and her portraying to be a black woman. What we're talking about is last Tuesday, KVO is an NBC affiliate. They broke the news that she was an employee at this school district in Arizona and that she was linked to an Onlyfans account. Now, that outlet noted that the explicit images appearing on her account, they had been shared all over Reddit. So, I'm not telling you to get on Reddit and look at these photos. I haven't, so I'm not, be like Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby.
Don't do it. So, her post went against the district's policy and it went against their staff ethics policy. So, what does that mean? That means that you can't be shaking that ass all on social media, or you can't be popping that pussy for the gram. That's simply put. That's what they mean by district policy and staff ethics policy. You can't be doing that shit. But my thing is, if you wanted to get on social media so bad and shake that ass, which I'm guessing you probably have no rhythm, why not cover your face? Probably still would have had a job. That's just some advice from Bobby Bands, and I'm probably just saying what you guys were thinking, or probably saying that don't nobody want to see that shit. That's really what y'all thinking. But who am I to judge? Like, I'm no one to judge about that. But like I said before, we're not here to talk about Rachel. We're here to talk about OnlyFans. Some of you are asking, what is OnlyFans? Once again, I'll tell you. It's a subscription-based social media app and an online platform that allows users to pay for content through monthly membership. What do they pay for, Bobby Bands? Don't worry about it. I'll tell you. So these users can share photos, videos, they can live stream all on this platform. Creators are also known as content creators or influencers. So if you have a podcast, if you have anything on social media, if you have anything anywhere, you are known as a content creator or an influencer. So if I'm an influencer and I'm telling you guys, don't run off and try to search these photos, then hopefully my good influence will influence you not to do it. You don't need to see that. But they can also charge their subscribers a monthly fee that will follow their account and view their exclusive content. So by reading that can go anywhere. It can go anywhere, honestly. But I'm gonna give you some quick facts about OnlyFans. If you didn't know, they started in 2016 and they're also based in London. And you're right, if you know what OnlyFans is, it's primarily used for porn and shit like that. What you did know, you can also find physical fitness experts, musicians, writers, poets, inspirational speakers, authors, artists. Like, there are a lot of people that have this OnlyFans that they don't, take the the pornographic route. You have some celebrities who have an OnlyFans and they don't do anything explicit on there. So September of last year, the average OnlyFans creator, they earned somewhere between $150 to $180 per month. Me, if I were thinking about getting on the OnlyFans and that is the average amount, why even do it? I can get a part-time job and make that. So that's, like I said, that's just me. The average page has 21 subscribers and the average monthly subscription cost is $7.21. According to Super Creator, to be in the top 1% of OnlyFans creators, you need to earn at least $6,000 per month. $6,000 per month is a lot than a lot of people make in a month. To make 10%, to make the top 10%, you have to make at least $1,000 a month. So you have some people on here that are at 0.1% and they make over 100,000 per month. So you do have in certain people's eyes or in certain people's positions, this could be a lucrative business. It's definitely a lucrative business for OnlyFans. Like, them motherfuckers making so much money. You know, they get 20% of the earnings. So there are people that make millions and millions of dollars off of OnlyFans, and they keep 20% of that. And the person still making millions of dollars. So, you know, I'm not here. This show is not here to be against or for OnlyFans. But the reason I gave you that background is because I had a discussion with a friend, and he found out that his wife was on OnlyFans, and he wanted to know how to approach this situation. Me personally, I've never been in that situation. My wife is not on OnlyFans. Like, I don't know anyone personally on OnlyFans. So therefore, I feel like my advice is all subjective. Like, my advice is all how I will react to things. And I think sometimes when we give advice, even though we haven't been in that situation, I think sometimes we have to give advice not from where we see it. We have to kind of step out the box. I'll redirect the question to you. You have people that watch porn but talk bad about sex workers. Like, think about that. You have people that watch, they are dedicated to watching porn, but they talk bad about sex workers, which they are actually helping these sex workers make money because of the views and the memberships and the subscriptions and the purchasing of content, videos, pictures, whatever. So for one, I don't think that someone who is in that realm when it comes to watching certain content and then talking bad about the people that do the content that you're watching. When we talk about sex workers, what is a sex worker? When you hear sex worker, instantly a person goes to only sex. That's not the case. Adults who receive money or goods in exchange for consensual sexual services or erotic performances, either regularly or on an occasion. So you can go to the strip club. You can get a lap dance. That is a sex worker. You can see someone walking down the street and they ask you, do you want to give a go? That is a sex worker. You can take pictures and post them on any platform. And if you want those people to purchase that content, you're a sex worker. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe at some point, these adults, men or women, because both are on OnlyFans, they're going to do what they want to do. So I don't understand why it bothers a particular person if, one, you don't watch it, two, you don't purchase anything from them, pictures, videos, whatever, souvenirs. I don't give a damn what it is. Like, if these people aren't bothering you, why does it matter? Let's keep it a buck. Sex work is one of the oldest professions in the world. You can go to foreign countries and they don't look at sex workers the way that the United States does. Like, you might not like the job, but everybody has a job. And I say job because if they're providing time and they're getting paid for their time, in my eyes, it's a job. And you don't have to like it. For me, like, it's not, I wouldn't do it, but I'm not going to knock them because that's their job. If that's the job that they want to have, hey, that's the job that they want to have. If you're selling drugs, if you're a hitman, if you're a mob boss, if you're a cartel leader, or if you're the one that picks up the shit from the elephants at the zoo, us as people might not like or care for that individual's job choice, but at the end of the day, it's a job to them because they are spending their time. Some are putting their life in danger. Even if it's good or bad. Even if it's good or bad, you're using your time. You're spending your time and you're getting paid for it. It's a job. So with that being said, a lot of people view OnlyFans as something negative. I view OnlyFans as something that, it's not for me because everything isn't for you. But at the same time, just because it's not for me, doesn't mean that I'm gonna disrespect you because it's for you. If you're spending your time making content, editing your content, putting your content out, and you're getting paid for it, kudos to you. And for the guys and women that complain about somebody's subscription and content being too much, I got an easy fix for you. There are some websites, some mature websites that you can go to and you can look at stuff for free.
Damn it, Bobby.
That handles that. Every Wednesday we do question day. And I'm going to read this first question just because ha ha. First question is, why do you have on that stupid ass hat? I have on this hat because I saw this sports show, and I saw it and I was like, I gotta get me one of those. Showed my wife and she did not like it at all, which made me want to get it even more. So I got it. I will not be addressing this question again, so please don't ask me. All right, next question. Next question reads, can you just be friends with a friend that you've had sex with before? I think there is no yes or no answer to this question because I think yes, you can. In certain situations, if both individuals are adults, they are in a mind space, in a position where the friendship means more than the sex, then yeah. Or you have two friends who enjoy the sex and they enjoy their friendship just as much as the sex, then yes. But if you have two individuals that are in different spaces where one is valuing the friendship more than the sex and the other one is valuing the sex more than the friendship, then no, you cannot just be friends with them because that person that values the sex more than friendship, it is always going to be a conflict because one person is putting their friendship first and the other one is pretty much thinking with their hoo-ha or they ding-dong. So it's no yes or no answer there, but it can go both ways. All right, question number 3. Let's see. What is your biggest failure and what did you learn from it? I think my biggest failure was trying to break the curse that was with my siblings and myself when it came to our father, and trying to not be like that with my oldest daughter. But when I got a particular job, it kind of pushed me away from spending as much time as I spent with her up until like 5 or 6. And my biggest failure was not trying to, I guess spend more time or go out of my way to make certain things happen. Like I would try, and then I would get so irritated with certain situations that I would kind of back up. And I would say that's my biggest failure. And what I've learned from it is that, I can't give up. I have to try to push every avenue. I have to continue to be there, although I'm not physically there. And it's just a learning process. I've never been in a situation like this, because me being away wasn't on purpose. Me being away was because of work, and that was like my prime duty with my job, was to be away. So I'll say that's my biggest failure. But the good thing about failures that you can go to the drawing board and try to make things correct, try to fix things and just keep trying to fix them until they're correct. Question number 4. Who has been the biggest influence on your life? That guy right there. It's the reason we named our production company where we produce, content. We named it For Leroy Boys. I was the first grandchild, and I felt like I was one of his kids. You're a good teacher when you can talk to someone. They don't know that you're teaching them, but years down the road, you realize what that person was saying. He did that a lot. We would have conversations after conversations, and I wouldn't realize that this old man was teaching me until it happened to me down the road. And he taught me one thing about family, is that family is everything. And not only did he talk about it, he led by example. So the reason I am today when it comes to my family and how I handle things is because of him. Like, that man taught me everything. And I look at him as a father figure. Like, not only a father figure, like, I actually, in my brain, he was my dad for me. And nothing can change that. I know what he meant to my life. I knew, I know how he impacted my life, and every choice that I make, I think about what he would say. We had so many conversations that I have enough of those conversations to kind of piece what he would say if he were here today. So that is the most influential person in my life. And he's not here, but he's still teaching me stuff. It's just crazy. But yeah, that's my dude. All right, last question. How do you feel knowing that your podcast got less than 20 views? Honestly, I started this podcast with no expectations. I just wanted to be able to have people to listen to me. And, everyone doesn't think like the next person. And my thoughts are probably different than yours. and to share that with individuals, you know, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty dope. And I think my first video got 25. My first show got 25, which means that 25 people were interested in to see what I had to say. And that number could go up. So to know that I can say something based off of my opinion and others want to listen to my opinion, it means something to me. So, you know, I'm not worried about the less than 50 views. And fuck you, whoever asked me that question. But that was the last question. I want to thank y'all again for tuning in to the Bobby Bands podcast. You know, it was a pleasure sharing some information with you. I will be back Friday with a special guest host. I hope you guys tune in. And just remember, sometimes the best way to lead is to learn how to follow. Have a good one. Peace.
Damn it, Bobby.
Woke up in the morning, on my mind is the money. Put on my J's, grab my bottle with the sunny. Money falling in the club,